Evening to all present here. It's been a wonderful evening already listening to such inspirational stories. And I'm here today sharing mine. I remember one incident from my life. I was traveling from Jammu to Delhi via flight for my doctor's follow-up. I was on a wheelchair with some special assistance. And trust me, when you're on a wheelchair, you are a celebrity. Because everyone present around you is going to look at you. And that was me there. So when I was at the airport, I could see those cringing eyes full of curiosity, questioning, why is she on wheelchair? And my reply was a big smile, and it was enough to leave them wondering. A very few curious ones would come up and ask me, what has happened? Are you hurt? Is your leg fractured? And when I would reply, no, I wear an artificial leg. And the words of pity would start pouring in. You're too beautiful to be on a wheelchair. Why has God been so unkind to you? And not to forget some sarcastic ones. This must have been the impact of your bad karmas from previous lives. Surprising, no? This is just one incident amongst many I face every single day. Back in 2003, when I was 18 years old, I met with this life-changing accident. I lost my leg above the knee. I remember I was lying on the ground in a pool of blood. I was trying to regain my vision, and what I see was an exposed bone, drenched in blood, and my foot lying separately with the veins hanging out. What did I just see? Was the very first question that popped up. I was completely conscious, but my ability to understand was failing. I was taken by a bunch of morning walkers present there and rushed to the hospital. First aid was performed, and my family was called. I was crying in pain, and what I see is my parents rushing down towards me. My father held my hand, and I saw tears in his eyes. My physical pain was way less than seeing him crying for the very first time in my life. My entire world came crashing down in a moment. My identity had completely changed that day. The next morning when I regained my consciousness, I could hear blurred voices of relatives standing next to me and telling my mother, her life is so over now. She cannot do anything. Who is going to marry her? A girl whose survival was difficult at that time was in a bucket full of pitiful comments. I was devastated. One girl, a day before, just few hours ago, was someone who was dancing her way through life, was now titled as disabled. Isn't it shocking that your identity changes in a minute? It did. I was crying in pain, and I asked my mother the very first question, Ma, will I ever be able to dance again? Tears rolling down her cheeks, and her trembling voice replied, God has greater plans for you, my girl. It is difficult to foresee now, but I'm sure there is. And I smiled. Words have great power. They can make you, they can break you. And my mother's words worked like magic that day. They still kept me going when I had all the reasons to give up. I had already given up at that moment when I lost this leg. But I knew I had to get up for my family. I do not give up so easily. I smiled. I got up. And I hid my pain, that unbearable pain, behind my smile. I still remember a few hours later when I could hear so many people saying so many things about me. There were many such comments which said, I really laugh at them right now because it's past and I'm over it. There were certain people, who said, when I was back from the hospital, when I was actually learning to walk all over again after 6 months of my surgery, there were many relatives and, friends and family and society all around me who would say, you should not be wearing a skirt. It shows your amputated leg. Don't walk around in crutches. It is so shaming. If you have guests at home, please do not go in front of them without your prosthetic leg. And I would ask question, why? Why? Have I ceased to exist? No. I'm the same human being as everyone present here. Why did my disability snatch my existence? I knew no miracle is going to bring back my leg. I need to change the way I look at myself. So what I did was, I changed my approach towards my life. Nothing comes easy. I got up, took charge of my life, believed in my abilities, looked straight ahead, and set my goal, and started walking on the same path until I reached my destination. I knew it's not going to be an easy path, but I started. I remember listening to a reporter who once interviewed a pilot, a very legendary pilot, who was the first one to break through a sound barrier. He was asked what it felt like just before you were about to make the breakthrough. He very calmly replied, when you are about to break through a sound barrier is when your cockpit shakes the most. And it's true. When you are about to make a breakthrough in your life, that is when you will be tested the most. And I had been. But that day I had decided not to give up. So it was my time to break through. Break through the barriers that were set around me. I had already set my goal. I got up, completed my studies, found myself a good job I love, and now I'm on a different path. It's preparing for my studies and all these things, for my job and everything. I decided to focus on my fitness. I went on to a gym and asked for a membership. I was denied, as there was a fear of training a physically challenged girl. After a lot of explanations and a lot of questioning, one of the gym in the city accepted this challenge, and I was taken under. I remember just few weeks after the training, I get a feedback from the same man who had denied earlier, saying, you are the best trainee one can have. And I was so proud of myself for very first achievement. I started uploading a lot of workout videos on social media. And trust me, when you accept yourself, the world starts recognizing you. A lot of people started connecting with me. The people who once said, you cannot do anything, your life is over, were now posting comments on the same video saying you have been an inspiration for all of us. My life had somehow shifted. Those workout videos were fortunately recognized by the Rowing Federation of India and my mentor, Colonel Gaurav Datta, who himself is a para-triathlete. I was given this life-changing opportunity to become a para-rower. For those who do not know what para-rowing is, you've seen people row the boat. That's the sport, rowing. And para-rowing is the sport which is the category of the same sport for differently abled people. And I was fortunate enough to be trained as a para-rower amongst my fellow teammates under the Indian Army. There were a lot of hardships, a lot of struggles involved. I was trained by the best of the coaches in the country. And I was so happy that if I had not been a disabled girl as quoted then, I would not have reached here. Fighting against all odds, fighting against all the hardships during my training as a para-rower, I remember I almost drowned during my training. There were other able-bodied rowers who would say, why don't you ask for a little lesser, easier workout so that we also get the same? I used to be like, I will not stop till my body gives up, because this is not going to give up anytime. I fought against every odds present there. I remember we got a chance to represent as a team our country in Asian Para-Rowing Championship 2019, which was held in South Korea. And me with my fellow para-rowers competed on the international platform for the very first time. And we were fortunate enough to bring a bronze medal home. So the girl who was once disabled was now differently abled. One who had lost her identity in 2003 was now titled as India's first female para-rower. Thank you. So when life weighs you down, don't give up. Pause there for a moment, talk to yourself, believe in your abilities, get up, dust it off, adjust your crown, and carry a big smile on your face, because that, my dear ones, is your biggest asset in life. As our ex-president, Mr. APJ Kalam rightly said, winners are not those who
quit.
What? Win. But those who never quit. So always carry that thing in your mind. Thank you so much for having me.